She will never tell you her real turn-ons, but her body will. Most men hear mixed signals and try to decode them with more words. They ask for clarity, they chase reassurance, they try to be nicer. The harder they try, the flatter the energy gets. She says she is busy, she smiles, she drifts. You are left wondering what changed. Here is the truth. Women have secret pleasures they almost never admit. Not because they are evil or manipulative, but because those cravings live under logic. They feel them, then hide them. If you cannot read what is unspoken, you will keep losing to men who can. This video gives you that map. We will break down 10 hidden triggers that women feel but rarely confess. You will learn why tasteful indifference pulls her focus, how gentle jealousy raises temperature, why restraint beats intensity, and how a calm frame flips the power dynamic without a single argument. No tricks, no cringe lines. Stoic presence, clean boundaries and precise timing. Use them and she leans in. Misuse them and she pulls away. If you are a grounded man in your 30s, 40s or 50s who is done guessing, this will be the upgrade. You will stop begging for attention and start radiating value. Stay close. Breathe slower, listen deeper, and move with quiet, deliberate intent. Let's get into it. Number 1. She loves when you ignore her. Here's the paradox. No one tells you women crave attention, but they fall for the man who doesn't give it too easily. When a man can look at her, smile, and walk away like he's not in a rush to win her, that silence hits deeper than a compliment ever could. Because attention is everywhere now, and scarcity creates value. Let's take an example. Michael, 38, runs his own design studio in Austin. Confident, calm, doesn't talk much. At the gym, he often crosses paths with Emma, 31, who clearly likes to be noticed. Perfect makeup, subtle perfume, those long glances that last half a second too long. But Michael never breaks his rhythm. He nods, maybe says hey, and gets back to his workout. The more he doesn't chase, the more she watches. Within a week, she starts initiating conversation. Why? Because his indifference made her imagination do all the work. See, when you ignore a woman, not in a rude way but with grounded composure, you trigger something ancient. A question forms in her mind: why isn't he affected by me? That question grows into curiosity, and curiosity is the seed of attraction. A Stoic once said, "He who masters himself is greater than he who conquers a city." In dating, this means your ability to control your impulses, to not flood her with validation, to stay centered, becomes your magnetism. It's not about pretending to ignore her. It's about truly not needing her response to feel like a man. That energy can't be faked. Women subconsciously test this constantly. They'll post something suggestive, drop hints, or give you a chance to prove your composure. When you take the bait, when you rush in with likes, comments, or needy energy, the tension dies. But when you stay steady, focused on your purpose, you separate yourself from 99% of men who orbit around beauty like moths to a flame. Emma didn't want Michael because he ignored her. She wanted him because his silence told her he didn't need her approval. It made her feel like she had something to prove to earn his attention. That flips the dynamic completely. And that's what most men never understand. Attraction doesn't always start with pursuit. Sometimes it begins with absence, with your ability to walk away with your quiet confidence that radiates without noise. That's not coldness, that's control. If you want to test this in your life, try this simple exercise. Next time you're around a woman you like, resist the urge to fill every silence. Let the moment breathe. Hold eye contact just a little longer, then look away first. Then go back to whatever you were doing. You'll notice her energy shift, curiosity, replacing comfort. Now, if this truth hit home for you, drop a comment below and write "I control presence." Because that's exactly what separates men she remembers from men she forgets. And stay with me, the next part reveals something even deeper. It's not just what you don't do, but what energy you project before a word ever leaves your mouth. Number 2, jealousy turns her on. Most men fear making a woman jealous because they think it's toxic. But here's the psychological twist. When done naturally and without manipulation, a little jealousy can light a fire you didn't know existed. Why? Because jealousy doesn't just make her insecure. It reminds her that you're wanted. It reawakens her primal instinct to compete for what she desires. In modern dating, women are surrounded by men trying to impress them, flatter them, and convince them they're the best choice. But what happens when a woman sees you being admired by others, when she feels your attention isn't automatically hers, is that her subconscious flips. Suddenly, she starts to value you more, because in her mind you've been validated by the tribe. This is pure psychology. Humans assign higher value to what's in demand. The Stoics understood this dynamic centuries ago. They called it indifference through strength. Epictetus once said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." When you live with that kind of composure, showing that you're desired but not distracted, you create a calm, confident scarcity that women can feel. You're not flaunting other women. You're simply not bound to one source of attention. Your life, your work, your purpose, your fitness, your focus, all radiate energy that attracts people naturally. And when she senses that you're not sitting around waiting for her response, her ego and emotions collide. That collision is what makes her chase. Now, jealousy here isn't about manipulation. You never try to make her jealous. That's childish. What you do is live your life so fully that your attention becomes valuable real estate. When she sees you smiling during a conversation with someone else or hears that other women respect you, it triggers something inside her, not anger, but desire mixed with fear. A fear of losing what she thought she had. And here's where most men fail. They think keeping her jealous means posting selfies with random women or playing games to make her react. But that's not power, that's insecurity, wearing confidence as a costume. The true Stoic approach is to stay unbothered, grounded, and unreactive. Your focus is not to provoke emotion, but to reveal your value through stillness. A Stoic man knows he cannot control her feelings, only his conduct. He allows her to feel the tension, but he never dances to her reactions. That quiet certainty is what she can't compete with. Because when a woman feels jealousy and sees you not trying to soothe her instantly, it sends a message, "I'm not yours to manage." That's what turns her on your untouchable frame in the middle of her emotional storm. The paradox is this: the moment you stop fearing her jealousy, you become more attractive. You shift from validation seeker to value holder. The jealousy she feels becomes proof of your presence, not your neediness. Now, if you understand this power, write in the comments, "I don't chase validation." Because that's the mindset that separates men who beg for attention from men who command it effortlessly. Stay tuned. Next, we'll uncover a psychological rhythm that keeps her chasing long after she thinks she's in control. Number 3. Being chosen feeds her desire. There's something most men completely overlook about women's psychology. She doesn't just want to be wanted, she wants to be chosen. Out of all the options, all the noise, all the attention, what drives her crazy is the moment she feels that you saw everything and still picked her. That's when desire becomes obsession. Let's paint a real picture. Daniel, 45, recently divorced, works in finance in Chicago. He's fit, confident, and not trying to prove anything anymore. He's been casually dating, enjoying his independence. Then there's Claire, 37, an art teacher, elegant, intelligent, but guarded. They meet through mutual friends, talk about music, travel, life philosophies. Daniel listens not to impress, but to understand. He doesn't rush, doesn't flatter, doesn't overcommit. But one night, after weeks of light banter, he looks at her and says, "I like the way your mind works." Then he turns back to his drink. That was it. That single moment, the quiet acknowledgement without a chase, shifted everything. Claire felt seen, not sold to. And because Daniel didn't hand that validation out freely, it meant something. It fed her desire to be the one who broke through his calm exterior. Here's what's happening beneath the surface. Women are constantly competing for emotional validation, often subconsciously. When they meet a man who is in control of his attention, who isn't desperate to please, his choice carries enormous weight. The rarer your approval, the deeper her emotional response when she earns it. It's the same reason luxury brands never go on sale. Scarcity equals value. And when a man's attention is scarce, not because he's playing games, but because his time and energy are genuinely invested in his purpose, it hits her on a primal level. She starts to think, if this man has options, what made him pick me? That thought alone builds desire faster than any physical gesture could. The Stoics understood this perfectly. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." A Stoic man doesn't hand his thoughts, emotions, or time to just anyone. He chooses deliberately, calmly, and from strength. That composure, that awareness that you decide not react, is what makes your choice magnetic. When Daniel chose Claire, it wasn't about possession, it was about direction. He didn't pedestalize her, and that paradoxically made her feel special. Because women crave the feeling of earning your affection. The key is balance. Be selective, not cold. Decisive, not distant. When you know what you want and calmly choose it, your presence becomes addictive. Here's the mistake many men make. They think desire is about constant pursuit. But the truth is, pursuit without standards weakens attraction. When every woman can have your attention means nothing. The power isn't in wanting her. It's in her realizing that you could have anyone, and you picked her. Now, if this truth resonates with you, write in the comments, "I choose with purpose." Because that's what separates the man she likes from the man she can't stop thinking about. Stick with me next. We'll talk about a form of attraction even deeper than being chosen, one that happens before you even touch her. Number 4. Mystery is her addiction. Here's the truth. Most men refuse to accept. Women aren't drawn to answers, they're drawn to questions. Curiosity fuels their attraction far more than clarity ever will. When a woman can't quite figure you out, when she feels that tiny gap between what she knows and what she wants to know about you, that's when her mind locks in. Mystery isn't confusion, it's tension. And tension is what keeps her craving. Modern men overshare. They think vulnerability means spilling their entire story on the first date, talking about past relationships, fears, and goals all at once. They confuse emotional availability with emotional exposure. But the truth, a Stoic man knows the power of restraint. He reveals himself slowly, not to manipulate but to maintain gravity. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. That mastery isn't just about controlling anger or desire. It's about knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. When you understand that, you become a living paradox, grounded yet unpredictable, calm yet intense. That's the kind of energy that keeps a woman's curiosity alive long after the first conversation ends. Mystery is not about playing games. It's about letting her discover you piece by piece. You give her just enough, a glimpse, a moment, a subtle detail, and then you pull back. When she texts, you don't rush to respond instantly. When she asks about your weekend, you don't list every activity. You might just say, "It was good, productive." That's it. You let silence do the work. Because when you leave space, her imagination fills it. And trust me, her imagination is far more powerful than any story you could tell. She'll start projecting, wondering, guessing. That uncertainty becomes emotional investment, the same kind of psychological hook that keeps people binge-watching a show just to see what happens next. The reason mystery works so powerfully is biological. Humans crave resolution. Our brains are wired to close open loops. When she doesn't know everything about you, she can't stop thinking about you. And when she can't stop thinking about you, she starts feeling more than she intended to. But here's the key: your mystery has to be backed by substance. If there's no depth beneath the calm, your silence feels empty, not magnetic. That's why Stoicism is the perfect framework. You don't withhold to control you. Withhold because you're focused. You're not trying to be mysterious. You are mysterious because your life is full, your thoughts are disciplined, and your emotions are steady. Women can sense when a man's silence comes from insecurity versus mastery. The first repels. The second fascinates. When your mystery feels earned, when it's built on quiet confidence and purpose, she can't help but lean in. That's not manipulation, that's magnetism. Now, if this truth resonates with you, drop a comment and write, "I move in silence." Because real strength doesn't need to shout. It's felt in the space between your words. And before we move forward, listen. If you want to go deeper into mastering Stoic attraction and learn how to use calm dominance to shift any dynamic, consider becoming a channel member today. You'll get access to exclusive Stoic psychology lessons and breakdowns I can't post publicly here. Stay with me, because next we'll explore the kind of power that doesn't chase attention but quietly demands it. Number 5. Restraint drives her wild. Here's the paradox. The less you do, the more she feels. Real desire isn't built on what you give her, but on what you don't. Restraint is the most underrated form of attraction because it flips the script completely. Instead of chasing her, you make her chase your control. Let's bring this to life. Jason, 42, owns a small architecture firm in Seattle. Calm, grounded, confident in silence. He's been casually seeing Mia, 35, a marketing consultant, beautiful, sharp, used to getting her way with men. From their first dinner, there's chemistry. She's expecting the usual rhythm, fast compliments, heavy flirting, a man trying too hard. But Jason surprises her. When she leans closer, he holds her gaze for a moment, then casually shifts the topic back to her art hobby. He doesn't take the bait. He doesn't rush the tension. He lets it breathe. That moment of pause drives her wild. Because restraint is rare, most men crumble at the first sign of physical invitation. They mistake access for approval. But Jason's composure communicates something primal. He's in control of himself and therefore of the moment. That calm presence activates something in Mia she can't explain. Respect, curiosity, attraction, all blending together. Here's the truth. Women are emotional creatures wired to respond to polarity. When you hold your ground instead of diving into desire instantly, you create polarity, that electric space between "I want you" and "I'm not rushing this." That space is where attraction grows. Restraint doesn't mean coldness. It means pacing. It means not trying to seal the deal before the moment is ripe. You let her feel that your interest is real, but your discipline is stronger. That's what separates a man of control from a man of impulse. A Stoic once said, "Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power." And nothing illustrates that better than restraint. Because when a man controls his impulses, he communicates abundance, that he's not desperate, that he can enjoy the process without demanding a payoff. The modern dating world teaches the opposite. It rewards instant gratification, fast moves, fast replies, fast everything. But the man who knows how to slow things down, who lets moments linger, becomes unforgettable. Because he doesn't just stimulate her physically, he awakens her psychologically. Restraint works like this. You touch her hand, then pull away first. You look at her lips, then look her in the eyes instead. You let silence hang when she expects you to speak. Every small act of control raises the tension instead of releasing it. You're showing her without words that you don't need her approval to feel in charge. And that drives her insane in the best way. That's exactly what Jason did with Mia. By not trying to claim her too fast, he gave her something she couldn't buy: anticipation. She left that night, not satisfied but captivated. Because a man who can hold back makes her imagination do the chasing. Now, if you know that kind of power, drop a comment and write, "I master restraint," because that's what defines a man who leads, not one who follows. And stay with me next, we're stepping into one of the deepest psychological triggers that make a woman obsessed, even in your absence. You'll want to hear this. Number 6. She craves when you see through her. Every woman has two versions of herself, the one she shows the world and the one she hides behind: charm, humor, or distance. Most men only interact with the surface version. They see the smile, the curves, the attitude, and stop there. But the man who looks through her instead of just at her, he's the one who haunts her thoughts long after the conversation ends. Here's why women live in emotional layers. They test, mask, and protect because they've learned that most men either idolize them or judge them too fast. So when a man shows he can read between the lines, when he can calmly sense what she's really feeling without demanding that she admit it, she feels both exposed and safe. That paradox is intoxicating. Imagine this: she's teasing you, maybe being playful, maybe pretending she's unbothered. Instead of reacting or trying to impress her, you hold steady. You catch the flicker in her eyes, the pause between her words, and you just say something like, "You don't have to pretend right now." Then silence. That stillness makes her heartbeat spike. Not because of what you said, but because of what you saw. This is where Stoicism meets psychology. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt ever dig." Apply that same principle outward. Learn to look within others. You're not reading her to control her. You're perceiving her truth without judgment. That awareness alone separates you from the noise of every other man who only sees appearances. When you see through her facade, you give her something most men can't: emotional recognition. That's more intimate than touch. You make her feel known. And once a woman feels known, she starts craving your presence, because your calm perception makes her drop her defenses. The secret is subtlety. You don't call her out, you don't analyze, and you never use what you notice to manipulate. You just hold space, quiet, confident, aware. She'll sense that she doesn't need to perform around you, and that's what bonds her. But let's be clear, seeing through her doesn't mean you lose your frame. You're not her therapist, you're her anchor. You don't fix her emotions, you simply refuse to get lost in them. That's the power dynamic. She secretly desires a man strong enough to see her chaos without becoming part of it. When you operate like this, something powerful happens. She starts revealing more without realizing it. Her tone softens, her eyes linger longer, her voice lowers, because you've created a rare kind of safety, one that doesn't come from validation but from understanding. This is the kind of connection that rewires attraction. She starts associating peace with you, and when you're not around, she misses that calm clarity, not just your touch, but your presence. That's what keeps her thinking about you at night. A Stoic man doesn't need to chase. He simply sees. He looks past masks and meets essence. That's why he stands out in a world of noise. Now, if you understand this level of quiet power, write in the comments, "I see clearly." Because real masculinity isn't about dominating emotions, it's about mastering perception. Stay tuned. What comes next reveals how your silence can create the deepest emotional pull she's ever felt. Number 7. Scarcity makes you addictive. Scarcity. It's one of the most powerful forces in psychology, not just in economics or marketing, but in attraction. When something is rare, it becomes valuable. When it's always available, it becomes invisible. The same truth applies to you as a man. The less accessible you are mentally, emotionally, and physically, the more she feels pulled toward you. Let's take a real-life example. Ethan, 46, runs a fitness coaching business in San Diego. Fit, focused, calm energy. He's divorced, confident in who he is, and no longer chases validation. Then there's Lauren, 40, a graphic designer, independent, attractive, and used to men bending their schedules to please her. But Ethan isn't like that. When they meet through mutual friends, he's kind but grounded. He doesn't text her all day, doesn't reply instantly, and doesn't rearrange his life to fit hers. At first she thinks he's not interested, but as days pass, she starts checking her phone more often, wondering what he's doing, who he's with. Why? Because his attention became rare. And in a world drowning in constant communication and desperate energy, rarity is magnetic. Here's what's really happening. Scarcity forces her imagination to do the chasing. When you give her space not as a tactic, but as a reflection of your full life, she starts to feel the weight of your absence. Every silence, every unanswered message creates contrast. When you finally reappear, your presence hits harder. That's the psychology of scarcity. But the key here is authenticity. Scarcity only works when it's real. If you're pretending to be busy, she'll feel it. But when your life genuinely fills your time, your business, your goals, your workouts, your peace, she senses that your energy has direction. That makes her crave your attention even more because now she knows it's earned, not owed. A Stoic man understands this perfectly. Epictetus wrote, "If you wish to be loved, love moderation." Moderation is the essence of scarcity. You don't withhold affection out of arrogance. You offer it sparingly out of awareness. You know your presence has value, so you don't hand it out freely. This doesn't mean ghosting or playing cold games. It means showing restraint. It means not over-communicating, not oversharing, not being the man who's always one message away. Instead, you focus on your own path, your discipline, your purpose, your peace. That's what makes your time with her meaningful, because it's not constant, it's intentional. And here's the paradox. When a woman feels your scarcity, she starts investing emotionally. The less you give, the more she imagines. The less she knows, the more she feels. She starts replaying your words, your voice, your silence, and that's how addiction begins. You live in her head rent-free, not because you flooded her with attention, but because you gave her space to miss you. Think of Ethan again. When he finally texted Lauren 3 days later, all he said was, "Good morning, how's your week going?" Simple, calm, genuine. That one line hit harder than a dozen messages from men begging for her attention. Now, if this truth resonates with you, write in the comments, "I protect my energy." Because that's what real scarcity is not, lack, but self-respect. Stick with me because next we'll break down how your calmness itself can become the flame that pulls her closer without a word. Number 8. Her fear of replacement is pleasure in disguise. Here's something most men never realize. A woman's greatest fear isn't losing you, it's being replaced by someone better. And the paradox is that fear isn't pure pain, it's also pleasure. Because the moment she senses she could lose your attention, her emotions ignite. Her mind starts spinning, her heart races, and suddenly she's thinking about you more than she wants to. Psychologically, this is where desire is born, not in comfort, but in contrast. When a woman feels too secure, her interest cools. When she feels a hint of uncertainty, when she senses that you have options, discipline, and the kind of confidence that doesn't need her, something deep inside her stirs. The Stoics understood this principle long before modern psychology ever did. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." In other words, tension and uncertainty awaken life itself. When a woman feels that subtle emotional tension with you, that beautiful uncertainty, she's more alive, more alert, more invested. That's why your calm detachment can be far more powerful than any form of chasing. When you stop trying to prove your worth, when you focus on your mission instead of her reactions, she begins to feel your independence. And independence, real-centered independence, is intoxicating. Now, this doesn't mean playing games or deliberately making her insecure. That's weak energy. What it means is living in such a way that your attention must be earned. You're no longer handing it out like free samples. You're selective, intentional, and focused on growth. A Stoic man doesn't threaten to leave. He simply doesn't attach his worth to being chosen. He's the storm and the stillness in one form. When you embody that, her subconscious begins to test your boundaries, not because she wants to control you, but because she wants to feel that strength again. She might suddenly become curious about who you're talking to. She might analyze your tone, your availability, even your silence. But beneath all that questioning, there's something else happening: desire. Her mind begins to crave reassurance from you, and that craving transforms into attraction. Women are wired to be drawn to the man who could walk away but doesn't, because his presence feels like a choice, not a need. The fear of being replaced turns into emotional excitement, the what-if that keeps her mind orbiting around you. Seneca said, "He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a living man." Translate that into relationships, and it means this: the man who fears losing her will never be desired fully. When you let go of that fear, when you stop living to avoid loss, you become the man she can't stop thinking about. You see, her pleasure in this fear isn't about pain, it's about polarity. It's the spark between masculine independence and feminine uncertainty. It's what gives her emotional contrast, safety and danger, comfort and challenge. That's why a man who doesn't need to prove anything is so attractive. He can look her in the eye and smile, not to impress, not to manipulate, but simply because he knows his worth doesn't depend on her validation. And here's the secret: when she senses that energy, she doesn't want to compete with other women, she wants to win you. You've shifted the balance of power. You've awakened something primal and electric in her, a mix of fear, curiosity and pleasure that keeps her emotionally tied to you. So don't run from her fear of replacement. Understand it. It's not cruelty. It's chemistry. It's the deep biological truth that desire thrives where there's tension. You are not her possession. You are her pursuit. And when you master your calm, centered energy, when your presence feels like something that could vanish at any moment, she'll feel that duality she secretly craves. To her, it feels like danger. To you, it feels like peace. And that's exactly why she'll never want to let you go. Number 9. Your calm frame shakes her control. There's something magnetic about a man who doesn't flinch when the world or a woman tries to pull him off balance. His calm isn't weakness, and it's not indifference. It's quiet power. It's what makes her heartbeat change without understanding why. Because when you're calm, she loses control, not because you overpower her, but because she realizes she can't control you. Let's take a real example. Ethan, 39, is a business consultant in Chicago, confident, successful, but not loud about it. He's been dating Lauren, 34, a marketing executive who's used to being in charge. She's smart, sharp, and used to men melting under her charm. One night at dinner, she subtly tests him, teasing, challenging, trying to provoke a reaction. Most guys would defend themselves or joke nervously. Ethan doesn't. He just looks at her, smiles slightly and says, "You done?" Then goes back to his glass of wine. That small act, a calm, grounded reaction, changes the entire dynamic. Her smirk fades, replaced by curiosity. Because she suddenly realizes he's not playing her game. He's not reacting from emotion. He's responding from control. Women subconsciously test men to measure emotional stability. They want to feel your strength without you saying a word. A man who stays centered when she's emotional tells her one thing loud and clear: "You're safe with me." And paradoxically, that safety is what ignites her attraction. Your calmness is a silent form of dominance. It's not arrogance or coldness, it's mastery over yourself. You're not controlled by her emotions, you're the one who anchors them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That line perfectly captures what emotional power looks like in masculine form. When you embody that calm frame, you stop chasing control, you become control. And she feels it. Your stillness forces her to confront her own chaos. It's the emotional equivalent of standing in front of a mirror. She sees her turbulence reflected in your calm. That contrast shakes her, pulls her in, and makes her crave the stability you radiate. But here's what most men miss: calm doesn't mean silence. It doesn't mean you suppress your voice or become passive. It means you speak and act from awareness, not impulse. The Stoics called this apatheia, not apathy, but freedom from being enslaved by emotion. Imagine this: Lauren texts Ethan after their dinner, trying to get a rise out of him again, maybe a sarcastic jab about his boring calmness. He doesn't react defensively. He just replies, "You call it boring. I call it peace." That single line carries more power than any argument could. Why? Because it reminds her that he doesn't need validation and that he won't step out of his center just to please her. The truth is, a woman's attraction deepens when she feels your emotional gravity. When you can stand still while she's spinning, when you can stay present instead of performing, that's when she feels your power. Most men try to impress women with intensity, but real power lives in stillness. It's the space between your reactions, the slow tone in your voice, the pause before you speak. It's knowing that composure is the highest form of dominance. Ethan never needed to raise his voice or prove a point. He simply was. And that presence, that quiet strength, dismantled every layer of control she thought she had. So remember, your calm isn't passive. It's the storm contained inside a still ocean. And when she realizes she can't shake that calm, she stops trying to control you and starts craving you instead. If you felt this truth, comment below, "I move from calm." Because in a world of chaos, the man who controls his energy controls everything, including her attraction. Number 10. The forbidden no she secretly wants. Here's a truth that turns the modern dating script upside down. Sometimes what a woman truly wants from a man isn't another. Yes, it's a firm, calm, unapologetic no. She won't admit this openly, but she feels it deeply. Because when a man tells her no without anger, hesitation, or apology, it sends a signal that pierces through every layer of her psychology. It tells her that he's not for sale, that his boundaries exist even when she tests them, and that is irresistibly masculine. In today's world, most men have been trained to avoid conflict, to keep her comfortable, to please, to say yes to everything she asks. They think compliance equals connection, but what it really builds is quiet resentment and emotional imbalance. Because a woman can't respect a man she can control. Let's be clear, this isn't about saying no to be defiant or controlling. It's about having standards, self-respect and discipline, and living by them consistently. The kind of no that awakens her interest is grounded in conviction, not ego. It's the man who says no because he values himself. A Stoic once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." That's Epictetus, reminding us that true strength doesn't come from approval, it comes from integrity. When you say no to her pressure, her plans or her temptations, she might act offended in the moment, but deep down, she feels something else: admiration. Imagine this scenario: she asks you to skip your morning workout to spend more time together. Most men would cave instantly, hoping to earn her affection through sacrifice. But the Stoic man simply smiles and says, "I'll see you after I train." Not cold, not distant, just firm. You've just taught her something: that you're not abandoning your discipline for attention, that your priorities are set, and she fits into your life, not above it. That kind of stability is rare, and rarity breeds desire. Here's the psychological reason why boundaries create polarity. When you draw a line, you create contrast, a moment of friction. And friction is the birthplace of attraction. Your no isn't rejection, it's definition. It clarifies your identity, your values, your center. And that to a woman feels like safety, because she knows exactly where you stand. She might tease, challenge, or even push harder, but underneath it all, she's feeling something she doesn't often get: grounded energy, the masculine calm that doesn't bend to every emotional wave. When a woman encounters that kind of man, she relaxes in a way she can't explain, because your no tells her that you won't lose yourself trying to keep her, that your validation comes from within, not from her reaction. This is why so many women end up obsessed with the man who didn't give them everything. He gave them truth, he gave them boundaries, he gave them restraint. And the irony, that forbidden no, the one she pretends to dislike, is the same one that keeps her coming back, because it separates you from every man who tried too hard to please her. You're not one more option, you're a standard. So remember this: a yes might win her approval, but a well-placed no earns her respect. And respect is the foundation of desire. She doesn't need you to obey, she needs you to lead. Not by force, but by example. In the end, the calm man who knows when to say no is the one she can't stop thinking about, because he gives her something no one else dares: to the beautiful tension between freedom and firmness. And that, my friend, is what keeps her addicted to your presence long after the words have faded and long after you've walked away. In this video, we uncovered the hidden layers of female psychology, the secret pleasures, subtle fears, and unspoken desires that shape attraction in ways most men never notice. You've learned that power doesn't come from chasing, but from presence, from calm control and emotional discipline. Every insight here wasn't about manipulation, it was about mastery. Mastery of yourself, your energy, and the way you move through connection. If you're ready to go deeper to understand the dark, refined edge of masculine psychology and apply Stoic principles to your daily life, join the members community. Inside, you'll get access to exclusive lessons, unseen breakdowns, and guided frameworks that will transform how women see and respond to you. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because every week we're decoding another layer of power, attraction, and self-mastery. Thank you for watching, and remember, control yourself and the world follows. See you in the next video.